starting from ticket number, subject, and status. Let's do these three first, yeah? So let's go back here, administration, technical design, form design. We're going to say we want a new form now. It's going to use the default connection. It's going to be in STM schema. Oh, accidentally it's loaded all this from history. So let me just remove it. Okay, so the table name will be, we haven't given it a name. So just like, remember when we did the dictionary table, so we're going to call this maybe STM dot help desk, and then the unique primary key we'll call ID and remove the STM. Okay, so that's going to be our table. So it will be called, I'll just paste it from here, help desk, and primary key will be help desk ID. We'll call it help desk, not help desk group. So all these, I don't know if you can remember, just going back and have a look at the group table, help desk group. Do you remember when it created all these extra columns for us? So it created the created bar field, the created date, these modified, is deleted. So it created all this automatically for us, plus this. So it's going to do the same now, except I want the system to fill in these values by who's actually logged in. So we know who created the record and what time they created it, if there's any modifications. So in order to do that, we've got to tick this box, full user field. So it'll fill in all those extra fields for us, so we don't need to worry about it. So we click update, we've now created that. So if we now just type in here, I'm going to type help, okay? And it's filtered, so it's picked up help desk and help desk group. Remember, this is the dictionary table now. So there we have our main table, but currently we need to remember, we need to synchronize the fields to bring in all those extra fields we created for us. We also need to fix the order of those fields, and then lastly we need to just refresh it so we can actually see them on here. So here's our main table now. We just need to add the columns that are missing. So the first column we'll add, we come back here to Excel, will be ticket number. I'm going to say new field. I'm going to call it ticket number. We'll just copy that. Paste it in there. Type. That's going to just be a plain old number, so an integer. Again, you need to get familiar with SQL data types. We don't have to specify a length because it's a number. I'm going to then skip everything else. The only difference, I want it visible in the detail and the browse. Okay. It's a required field, but the user's not going to actually type it in. So what we wanted to do is we want the system to give us a unique ticket number. So what I'm going to do here in the default value, I'm going to put curly bracket max. In other words, give me the max number that's in that column. And what it does is gives you the max plus 1 when you do that. Okay. And then I'm going to just click update field. So now we've got our ticket number and we've got that max default value, which will actually automatically populate for us. One thing I forgot, let's go back into it. We don't want the user to fiddle around with this field. So we're going to make it a read-only field. Okay, so here under read-only, just say yes and select update. Okay, so now that ticket number should now work nicely. So let's move on. So back to Excel. Next is going to be the subject column. So we're going to come back here. We're going to say new field. We are going to say subject. I'm going to keep the caption the same as the field name. I'm going to say type here. So this is going to just be a character. Now for character field, you can use varchar or nvarchar. I think nvarchar will give you a few extra characters. I think the bit value is different. I'll use nvarchar this time. And again, field length, I don't want this to be too long, so I'm going to just make it 1,000 characters. Aha, is required? Yes, we do want it. So that's a required field. So click update. Right, so we now have subject. We can then fix the order later. I'm going to just put all the fields in and then we'll fix the order right at the end again. So let's go to the next field. So go back to Excel. So the next field is status. So now status is another dictionary field. So I'm not going to put the creation of this into this video. We've already done a dictionary table. So I think what I'll do, because I haven't set this up yet, let's skip that. I'll come back to that last. Okay, so let's go, who is it from? So who has logged the tickets? So let's come back in here, new field. So I'm going to call this field user from. I'll keep that the same. So now this is going to be a user ID. So that'll be unique identifier because it points to another table that holds all the usernames. Now, if you look at the help desk, you can actually see there's certain helps down here where you can pick up the login user ID. Can you see that? Login user ID. So if you just pop that in curly brackets, then what will happen is it will automatically log that for you, and it'll put the user ID in there for you. And we don't want anyone fiddling with that as well. So we're going to say make it read only. However, if we ever wanted like to set it up in like a drop down or a combo, we need to design that. So in order to design that combo, we're going to go to here where it says combo SQL. So again, here you need a little bit of SQL. So just to show you, coming back to SQL over here, we have a table called user, and it's got user ID and there's a username or there's an email address. So in SQL Server, you can just right click and you can just say script select statement out for me from this table. So you can type this manually. So what I will do is I will actually build this into DDF. I'll build this into DDF. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, just editing this now. I'm going to say, just give me the first name and the last name from the user table where it matches on this ID, okay? And just one little tip when it comes to designing combo boxes, you've got to always have a description column called description. So if I just delete all that, you don't need that, you don't need that. That's the statement I'm going to be running. So if I run that now from within SQL Server, you can actually see what it's going to do. So it's going to give me my user ID, which is this GUID, and it's going to give me my username. Okay, so I'm going to copy that statement like it is there. I'm going to go to DDF. I'm going to paste it in here. And then I'm going to say the unique column is, by the way, you don't need those square brackets. You can leave the square brackets out. It's only if it's a field name that has a space in between it, then you need the brackets. Or you can just leave it like that. It should be fine. And then here it's asking you what is the ID or the field that holds the unique identifier, and it's the user ID field here. And then it says, what combo type is it? So I'm going to say it's a grid, which is basically this combo here. It's a grid choice. This is an interesting field. So what this field does is it says, do you want any other fields when the guy makes a selection? Do you want any other fields posted back so that you can make your selection here a bit more intelligent? Like, for instance, I'll give you a good example. If you had a form that had, say, country and city, okay, what you could do is in your select statement here, and let's say you're setting up the city combo. Okay, you'll do a select statement that basically points to your cities, but you only want to limit your cities by your country. So in other words, here you'll say, okay, post me back the country the user has already filled out. If you don't understand any of that, don't worry, you'll get it in time. Okay, so that's basically how these drop downs work. So you write a select statement. Remember, it must always have description in it. So it must always have a description field. So you're basically saying name, first name plus last name as description. Actually, what this should say is it should say plus space, because you want a space between first name and last name. So first name, space, last name, and call that description from your user table, okay? And I think everything else should be then fine. So I'm going to update that. Actually, for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to not make it read-only, just so that I can show you what it actually does. Okay, so let's see what we've got so far, because we've added quite a bit now. Let's see what we've got. So I'm going to close this, and it's the main help desk table. So let's go to the right and click test form. Okay, here's our blank grid. We're going to say new help desk ticket. So there's our subject. So this will just be a test. Here's the user from. So what it's done is it's taken the first name, space, the second name, put it in here, and then if you look here, you can see my name's in there. And if I remove my name, you'll see it now lists everyone in the user table, basically. But you could see it also defaulted to me when it came on here. That's why I wanted to make it read-only. So if I just do it again, you can see it's defaulted my name in there. Okay. So my subject will be test 1. My ticket number, this is read-only because it will only be assigned once I click update. Okay, so I click update. It's now updated, and look what it's done. Test 1, Dino Bencini, ticket 1. And when I click on it, there's my detail form. Can you see? Right, so I'm going to go back and make this read-only, so we don't need to worry about that. But yeah, as you can see, at any time you can click test, see how far you've gone, see if what you've done is working, and come back and just carry on editing it. So that's quite nice. Is read-only? Yes. Test form, go in here. You can see it's now read-only. I can't change it, which is good. Okay. Right, so let's move on now. Go back to Excel. Assigned to will be exactly the same as from. So I will do that. But let's just, before we go any further down the line, let's just do the detail so we can see the actual main incident detail. So let's just skip some of these and come to incident detail, and then we can always go back, okay? So let's go back into our help desk. Okay, I'm going to say new field here. I'm going to say, what is the exact wording? What did we call it? Incident detail. Okay, I'm going to keep it the same. So coming back here, I'm going to say, except I won't have a space in between it. Okay. So incident detail. Right, the type is going to be nvarchar. Okay, field length. So now I could use, if I leave it like that, it'll just be maximum. But let's just say, for argument's sake, 4,000 for now. You always change it later. Skip all this out. It's all combo stuff. Required, you really do want this. You want some detail in it. Here, because it's a long text description of what the problem is, I'm going to set is note to true. So yes. So it's a yes. And that's it. Update. Okay, and there's incident detail. So let's test the form again. So come back. Go to the far right, click test form. Here's the form. I'm going to go into existing record. Here's the details. So here I can type in blah, 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 blah. This is what the problem was, and I couldn't get it fixed, and I tried this, and I tried that. Please, can you help me, please? Okay. It'll be the detail. One thing I forgot to do now is I've got the incident detail in here. Because I haven't got very many fields here, this is actually doable as long as the incident detail isn't too many lines. But in actual fact, I don't want to show it in here, okay? So I need to take it, I need to only show it in the actual detail section. So I'm going to go back to here, back into the field, and then over here, I'm going to say it's only visible in detail. So I'm going to uncheck visible in browse, click update. Okay, then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to test this form again. So I'm clicking test. Okay. So here, sorry, I forgot to show you. So here you don't see the detail anymore, but when you click in here, you can see the detail here. Okay. But sometimes it can be a very long description, which is why all our note fields have a magnifying glass. So if you click the magnifying glass, you can see the same thing here, and you can continue typing here as well. Okay. and you just click close, and it'll put the text back in here. So that's standard behavior on all note fields. And if you click update, okay. Right, let's press on. So let's go back to Excel. Let's mark off the actual columns that we've done. Okay, so let's now do assign to. So assign to is going to be exactly like the from. So you can actually go into from and copy the select statement from there and put it into assign to. And just make it a drop down, but don't put any default value in it. That's the only difference, okay? So let's go back, come out of testing there. Here's the help desk table. We're going to say, well, let's go copy first. So let's go and go into from, and all we need here is the select statement. So this select statement here, we just copy it. Okay, right. So we're going to say new field. So let's just go into the SQL first, seeing as I've got it on the clipboard already. Pop that in there, and the column will be user ID. So there. Okay, so we've got that in. Oh, let's just finish the combo fields. It'll be grid choice, no postback fields. It can't be required because it hasn't been assigned yet. Okay, let's go up to the top again and let's fill in these values. So let's go back to Excel. So we're going to just call this simply assigned to. Copy from Excel directly in here, except I'm not going to have any spaces. Field names don't really like spaces, otherwise you have to use the square brackets. I prefer not to force people to use the square brackets. So again, this is going to be unique identifier, which is in this list because it points to the user table. And I think that's it. Remember, you can type help desk help text in here or supply a link. So I can say this is the staff member located to fixing your issue. Okay, so you can type like help desk there, help text there. Okay. Right, so we've done that. Let's now only mark it green after I've tested it. Okay, so let's do the support group because we've already created this dictionary table. Okay. So let's go back here. So we're going to say new field. Yeah, again, I'm not going to use spaces in here. You can use spaces in your caption. That's why you have a caption field. So I could say support space group in there. Okay, so now this will be a unique identifier again, because it points to our dictionary table, remember? And the combo selection will be, you can guess, select, I don't want to guess. Let's just go back here. Where is it? Help desk group. So I'm going to just expand it here just so we can see. Okay, I'm going to just copy the name and it's just called group name. Okay, so we're going to come back here. So it's going to be select that, add group name, enter from stm dot help desk group. Help desk. Okay. Oh, remember we've got to always have a description as the second column. Always rename that. So basically what you're saying there is you're saying call group name as description, but you don't have to specify the as keyword. You can just leave a space in SQL and it will mean the same thing, okay? So you have a unique identifier for that, put it in here so someone knows that that's the field you want to use. The combo type will be grid choice. You're not posting back any fields. This isn't required. So technically that should be it. You should be good. All right, so let's go and test those two things that we've done. So I'm going to close this, scroll across, click test form. Right. So I'm going to go back into one of the old records so we can just have a look. Okay. So my support group, there it is, IT related, finance, general. So you can select general. Yeah, you can assign it to someone, etc., etc. So for now, we're designing the one that will be used in for staff members, so that can be fine. We'll sort out the column order in a second, but I just wanted to just test that those two things are working. Okay, you can see they are. So if we add another help desk ticket, let's say this one goes to finance, and it's going to be this payment, and again, I'm going to say blah, blah, whatever, and save. There's your missed payment thing, and you can see this is ticket number 2, so you can see this is incrementing nicely as well, this ticket number. We'll sort the order of fields out later. That should be good. So let's just finish up now. So let's do status. So status is the same as the support group. It uses its own dictionary table with these values in it. So now I've gone ahead and created that table with these values in it. So let's just plug it in to the actual main help desk. Status, so I'm going to just copy it, paste it as caption. So it'll be, because it's a dictionary table, it's going to be a unique identifier, and you don't need to worry about the rest. The combo SQL will be select status ID, status name from stm dot help desk status. Okay, at least I think it's called that. So status ID, status name from stm help desk status. Again, let's go look at the fields here. Let's open. So if you have a look here, it's a short and sweet dictionary table. It has the help desk status ID and status name. Yeah. So that won't work. The first field won't work because it's called help desk status ID and status name. So let's just go back, change that first field, help desk status ID and status name from STM. Okay, so that should be fine. And again, you just want the ID column specified over here, the combo type. Okay, and this we will need. Again, we can automate this. So, we might come back and change that later. I think that's all we need. Yeah, update. Oh, okay, so it says failed. Please try again. The combo SQL must have a field called description. Very nice. It's actually helped us out. The second field must always be named as description. Okay. Okay, so now to get rid of these error messages, you've got to click the X. So the green ones will go away by themselves. The red ones, you need to click the X, okay? The errors. Right, so click update. Okay, and we've got that one done, hopefully. Okay, so date created has actually been done for you. So I'm going to mark that as green as well. It gets created when you actually create the table. So all you've got to do is just make sure that it's visible. So let's go and have a look. Yeah, created date time. Here it is. We want that visible in detail and browse. Okay, that's your date that the ticket gets created. So what's left to do? Date closed. So one more field, date closed. So again, new field. We're going to call this, let's call it date time closed because you have the time in there. Type is going to be date time, and the rest should all be fine. Okay, so is that everything now? I think it is. Right, so let's sort the order of the fields out. Sort the order of the fields out like I've showed you before. You can go into the table and here, fix order. So you just click fix order, and then you want to refresh this grid over here. Go here, click refresh. Hopefully it'll be in the right order now. So help desk ID, ticket number, subject, who's from, detail, assigned to, support group, status, date time closed, and created by. Okay, so I think created by is probably invisible, but that should be good enough. Let's test. So I've minimized this form, so I'm going to just maximize it again. To scroll to the right, test form. Let's go into an existing one. Looks good. There's your assigned to. The order looks good. Support group, finance status, open, daytime close. So that needs to be filled in automatically, I think, when you close the status, when you set the status closed. Okay. So I think it's looking good. And that's basically how you design a table.